Can't help sneaking your way through games? Check out this list of the best stealth games on Steam and other platforms. Dead by Daylight. Dead by Daylight is a popular online multiplayer horror game where up to 4 players work together to escape the clutches of a powerful killer. If you're a survivor, your main task is to repair generators to reveal a doorway or hatch that will let you leave this nightmare once and for all. However, this won't be easy as simple mistakes can cause generators to make noise, and each killer is equipped with unique tracking and trap abilities. While admittingly weaker, the survivors have some tricks up their sleeves as well and can lure the killer away from allies and hide in closets and bushes. GTFO. For more co-op horror with a stealth twist, consider picking up GTFO, a challenging first-person shooter that casts you and your crew as prisoners. Forced to navigate a sprawling research facility overrun with hellish creatures, you'll have to use a mix of stealth and aggression to have any chance of surviving. Thankfully, the game grants you a variety of weapons, tools, and traps to help swing the odds in your favor, even if slightly so. Keep in mind, there are creatures in this game that should not be alerted at any costs, as they can easily swarm your squad and undo all your progress. Next up on our list is Hyperstrange's cowboy-themed first-person horror shooter Blood West. In it, you set off on an immersive Wild West adventure from the perspective of a revenant desperado seeking refuge. Of course, it's not long before things go sideways, and you're forced to battle an army of twisted demons and eldritch horrors. While weapons like the knife, axe, shotgun, and revolver provide a means of defense, battles can become dire rather quickly if you're not playing stealthy. Dishonored Series. You can't talk about the best stealth games without bringing up Arkane's critically acclaimed Dishonored or its fantastic follow-up. Both see players exploring steampunk-inspired cities patrolled by guards that can be deterred using a host of supernatural abilities and mechanical gadgetry. This includes possessing enemies, freezing time to remain unseen, deploying traps, or summoning a horde of rats to do your bidding. Players can even go through each game without killing a single person or outright murdering everyone, with either path helping shape the story. Deathloop. If you enjoy Arcane Studios' open-ended approach to stealth, then Deathloop is a notable addition to the developer's catalog worth checking out. The story narrows on a hitman that ends up in a time loop where he's forced to relive the same day until he can eliminate 8 targets back to back. Breaking the cycle won't be easy as enemies are scattered across different locations and follow unique patterns depending on the time of day. Like many of the studio's past releases, Deathloop manages to cater to both aggressive and stealthy playstyles with its wide selection of weapons and powers. Prey. Another, more criminally underrated entry in Arkane's game development history, Prey is an immersive sim with RPG shooter and stealth elements. It takes place in an alternate future where mankind fully embraced space exploration, leading to unparalleled research in space-age technology. Taking on the role of a science researcher, you'll have to step up to the plate and save the day after hostile extraterrestrials manage to take over the station. Although you're welcome to approach every combat encounter with pure vitriol, going the stealth route will often net you better resources and rewards. Mutant Year Zero Road to Eden. Mutant Year Zero Road to Eden is another stealth-focused game that suffered from a somewhat shaky launch period but is in a much better state these days. The main selling point of this tactical RPG is its XCOM-inspired combat system that greatly favors stealth over outright hostility. Players will find the vast majority of encounters can be avoided altogether by carefully maneuvering your team through enemy lines. This is extra fun simply for the fact characters will casually strike up a conversation, sometimes smack dab in the middle of battles. Next up on our list is Invisible Inc., a strategy roguelike that introduces an espionage agency under attack by one of its competitors. Assigned the job of remote operator, you must direct agents through covert missions to gather resources and intel within a limited time frame. At the start of each run, players are given 3 days to complete jobs across the globe and obtain the necessary equipment for their final mission. Since the mission details and map layouts vary with each playthrough, you'll often find yourself having to improvise in order to stay ahead of the AI. Picklock. Picklock is another great stealth heist game that manages to leave a lasting impression despite its relatively short campaign. In it, you take on the role of a hotshot thief looking to escape his life of crime and start fresh in retirement by saving up money from increasingly high-stakes scores. It features robust stealth mechanics that let you tackle missions from different angles while providing incentives for completing bonus objectives. Money stolen from businesses can then be spent on fancy cars and luxury homes or stashed away for one big final payout. A Plague Tale Innocence. Set in medieval France, A Plague Tale Innocence casts you as two siblings on the run from English forces after their family's countryside estate is invaded. Since the game's historical setting coincides with the Black Plague, players will have to avoid diseased rats, in addition to enemy soldiers. This is all while navigating dark sewers, decayed city streets, solving puzzles, sneaking, and fighting only when absolutely necessary. Now is a great time to check out A Plague Tale, ahead of the release of an upcoming sequel, A Plague Tale Requiem. Metro Exodus. Metro Exodus continues the story established by 2010's Metro 2033, while keeping things consistent with the 2002 novel by Dmitry Glukhovsky it's based on. Players take on the role of a Russian scavenger as he and his new family ride a train through the frozen wasteland, looking to reconnect with civilization. In contrast to previous games in the series, Metro Exodus broadens its scope with bigger open-world environments for players to explore and sneak through. Additionally, the game features a crafting system, meaningful story choices, and an array of different biomes that introduce unique enemies and obstacles. The next title we're recommending is Shadow Tactics Blades of the Shogun, a hardcore tactical stealth game that has you managing a team of samurai spies. Its story takes place during the Japanese Edo period, when a new shogun has risen to power and organized a task force to help squash a rebellion. This requires you to combine unique weapons, abilities, traps, and tools to eliminate targets and avoid detection whenever possible. There's a good amount of variety in the character's playstyle and solutions for tackling just about every challenge the game throws your way. Hitman 3. Hitman 3 is the final entry in IO Interactive's World of Assassination trilogy and smooths out its predecessor's rougher edges for more stealth sandbox hijinks. The story picks up after the two previous installments as Agent 47 and his team try to wipe out the leaders of a secret world-controlling organization. New features such as permanent shortcuts and VR support help streamline and broaden the gameplay opportunities at players' disposal. It really delivers on the idea of roleplaying as a stealthy assassin, as levels offer a myriad of disguises, weapons, and restricted areas to poke around in. Alien Isolation. Based on the iconic Alien franchise, Alien Isolation is a first-person survival horror game that takes place 15 years after the original film is set. Players are cast as an engineer named Amanda Ripley, as she gets a potential lead as to her missing mother's location and decides to pursue it. What ensues is a sci-fi horror adventure that will take players through dire situations with limited resources and several threats to manage. Since your character is not as strong as the androids or alien, stealth is key to staying alive long enough to make it off the station. Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain. The Metal Gear franchise is known for its stealth-driven gameplay and themes of espionage, spanning 11 main installments. The one we're highlighting here is The Phantom Pain, which takes place after Ground Zeroes and casts you as grizzled spy agent Big Boss. After waking up from a coma, he sets out to assemble a team of mercenaries and exact revenge on his enemies. Each mission can play out in several ways depending on how stealthy or aggressive you play, with the enemy AI responding realistically. Next up, we have a rather unique stealth game titled Republique that's likely slipped under the radar for many genre fans. You're tasked with guiding a woman trying to escape from a maximum security government facility, conducting mysterious experiments on its prisoners. The game is played from the perspective of hacked security cameras and other devices, making for a more immersive experience. The result is an atmospheric stealth sandbox experience set in a dystopian future, where every decision is a matter of life or death. Mark of the Ninja Remastered. Mark of the Ninja Remastered is another well-received stealth game that incorporates ninja strategies into its combat while telling a unique story. In it, players are cast as a warrior torn between ancient customs and modern technology in a world plagued by corruption. Each of the game's 2D side-scrolling levels presents multiple paths to take, depending on whether you want to play things stealthy or go in hot. The remastered version updates the now 10-year-old title with enhanced visuals, audio, developer commentary, and bonus story content. Deus Ex: Mankind Divided. Deus Ex is considered a pioneer in the stealth genre across its 6 installments, including the 4th and most recent entry, Mankind Divided. In this cyberpunk story, we follow a double agent looking to expose the Illuminati by aligning with a rogue group of hackers to infiltrating enemy headquarters. Gameplay blends first-person shooter combat with stealth and RPG-based progression, with an emphasis on player choice. This includes unlocking different augmentations for the protagonist that focus on combat, stealth, or survival and change how they interact with the world. Gloomwood. Our next recommendation for stealth fans is Gloomwood, a retro-inspired immersive sim FPS currently in Steam Early Access. In it, players find themselves trapped in a dark Victorian city plagued by an ancient curse that turns its citizens into ghastly enemies and monsters with acute senses. The goal of the game is to escape the city using a unique arsenal of weapons, tools, and traps that favor stealthy playstyles. Each of these will come in hand as you explore an intricate, handcrafted city, eavesdropping on characters and peeking through door cracks. Deadly Night. Developer Cubite Games describes Deadly Night as a stealth-driven, grindhouse-style slasher game featuring low-poly PS1-inspired visuals. From our brief time with the game, this couldn't be any more true, as Deadly Night pays homage to cult classics while framing gameplay around stealth sequences. The story centers on a hitchhiking woman that arrives at a small roadside motel, only to find a creepy owner and unsettling atmosphere. What ensues is a tense and terrifying struggle for survival as you try to avoid a bloodthirsty killer by hiding in closets and under beds. Thanks guys for watching our video. Clicking a like button is the best way you can help us to show your appreciation. We'd really be grateful for that. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more videos. We'll see you guys next time.